2022 has been an incredible year for fighting games. The slow return of offline events was only the start of a truly explosive year of announcements in the latter half of the year. The confirmation of Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 sent waves across the scene, the former for its incredible scope with the World Tour, customizable characters, brand new characters, and striking art style. At the same time, the latter sported what looks to be true next-generation graphics, with more information to come soon, marking almost 8 years since Tekken 7 was first released in 2015. Just over the horizon, there are even more exciting developments too. Riot's Project L is quickly putting on an image of being a legitimate challenger for a top fighting game when it releases. Warner Bros. Bid to give player-first games the license to go wild with multi-versus characters rocked the platform fighter scene after Super Smash Bros. Ultimate finally stopped the development of new content. But what then of NetherRealm Studios' next title? Well, this is Arya from TBS, and today I want to walk you through DashFight's wishes for whatever the masterminds at NRS, alongside the veteran expertise of Ed Boon, are cooking up behind closed doors. Worth clarifying though that we're not developers, and it's all a matter of taste. In fact, why don't you tell us what the perfect next-gen NRS game should be? Before we jump into it though, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you're always in the know when new videos come out. Okay, so getting into it. Should the next NRS game be one set in the rebooted Mortal Kombat universe, or one that follows the formula set by Injustice? Let's tackle Injustice first. Now, rumors have been going around that NRS is working on a spiritual successor to Injustice, some even claiming that it might be a Marvel vs. DC type collaboration. Those were especially rampant in 2021, and since the buzz around the studio's next title has died down a bit. The idea of returning to that beloved series would be nice, but we think the current trend of superhero franchises might be getting a bit stale, or at least it requires a wildly different approach than what the studio has been showing recently, especially for a developer that enjoys grittier and more realistic graphics and stories. So although we love Injustice and a sequel at some point would be welcome, a new Mortal Kombat title is our first pick. Given that in 2019, NRS made a soft reboot of the Mortal Kombat franchise, at least as far as the timeline is concerned. They put a lot of effort into creating a solid foundation to continue in future installments. We saw some of it play out with the Aftermath expansion, which continued from where MK11 ended and presented a potentially open-ended epilogue with Fire God Liu Kang creating a new era, at least if you were good at the game. But what if you were bad at the game? Well, then Shang Tsung conquers all the realms, which sounds like the perfect setup for a Resistance-type storyline. If NRS feels risky, they could even introduce an expanded version of the Crypt, with a semi-open world where players could take on the fight to liberate not just Earthrealm, but all the realms. In past videos, we've talked about some of the characters we want to see in a new Mortal Kombat entry, and the idea of traveling through various realms and finding new opponents and allies makes for a compelling storyline. Become DashFight supporter on Patreon. Gain ad-free browsing on our site. Click the link in the description. Graphics aren't everything, especially in fighting games. A solid artistic style goes a long way, even with modest graphical power. Virtually every Arc System game proves that having a strong aesthetic will multiply the pixel count many times over. But Mortal Kombat has always kept up with current trends, and aimed for a more gritty and pseudo-realistic look and feel. Given that NRS is already familiar with the Unreal Engine, seeing as it was the engine of choice for them in Mortal Kombat 11, it makes sense that they would make the leap to Unreal Engine 5. For some context, the recent cinematic teaser for Tekken 8 and the game itself will be in Unreal 5, something Tekken series director Katsuhiro Harada said gave the team at Bandai Namco all the tools they needed to produce a visually stunning game. Beyond that, however, there is a feature of the engine that we think would be beyond incredible for a new Mortal Kombat title: modding tools. The Unreal Engine is one of the easier to learn platforms. Not the easiest, mind you, but still miles better than proprietary engines like those used by Capcom for Street Fighter 6. Imagine the possibility of adding new stages or remaking stages from previous games into the new ones, upsizing the resolution of textures, or new shaders, and the list goes on. Even if those areas are locked off for modders, there's still scripting. Imagine complex AI opponents that could help train players from beginner to pros, with modders creating expanded lessons beyond what the team at NRS is able to do. Depending on how much NRS is willing to open up to modders, there's a vast universe of possibilities here. A big trend in gaming, and a likely one to continue into the future, is battle passes or season passes. The model has proved mostly successful in free-to-play titles, but the monetization strategy has made its way into the vast majority of new major releases. Although it's easy to point and laugh, or cry at poor, abusive, or plain boring implementations of a battle pass system, enough iterations have come and gone to see the general shape of a successful battle pass. To be clear, Mortal Kombat, for us, should remain a fully priced AAA title. Even though the temptation to suggest a free-to-play model is there, we think the value given at release for the games in the franchise is well worth keeping the $60 price tag. So a battle pass would only be an add-on for players, much like how the crypt and towers function right now. The model that we think fits a contemporary Mortal Kombat title the best is a combo of a free and season pass, meaning that there's a mainline progression that never stops that allows players to unlock all its elements over time by simply playing what they want in whatever way they want. At the same time, every few months a new seasonal pass would unlock, and players that pay for it would be able to unlock those special items as well as get a boost to their normal progression. As to what could be locked under the pass, there are some safe options to pick first: cosmetics, fatalities, stages, tracks, and fight walk-ins. All of these are largely irrelevant to the core gameplay of the game, but nevertheless are fun to have. Mythic-type items that require players to level them up could also be an entertaining idea, especially if those level-ups are tied to specific challenges, such as performing a set amount of counters or combos starting with certain strings. New DLC characters could be released into their own season pass instead of a DLC pack, allowing players to pay less to unlock just the characters they want. Finally, these same season passes could expand on the stories of characters with special missions for players to progress through them. Remember that idea of a sequel set in a Resistance scenario for the realms? Special story missions could be given to pass holders to expand on those stories. Finally, maybe part of those season passes could go towards supporting the competitive scene. Imagine the Mortal Kombat Finals prize pool being driven ever higher by more and more players paying for and playing through the season's content. With all that said, we know monetization models can be a controversial topic. Every player has a preferred one, from a single $60 purchase to an all-out free-to-play model. Which one would you want to see for Mortal Kombat 12? Continuing a bit from the previous section, character customization has become a core feature in Mortal Kombat, as MK11 had a vast list of items for all characters to choose from, with many more that could be unlocked through the different tower challenges and the crypt. But there's another side of customization we want to see return for Mortal Kombat 12: variations. At the start, variations were just presets that players could use to tune their characters to their liking. For most competitive players, these presets were vitally important and had the power to make or break characters in the competitive scene. It wasn't until the end of the game's development support that custom variations became available for competitive play, and with that, a rush to build the best character variations. Expanding on the variation system, with more moves that can overlap in terms of utility, could make for an interesting challenge, as players could develop a set of variations that work for them and give them the best odds when facing certain opponents. This type of competitive customization is becoming more and more popular, and it would be a shame to see Mortal Kombat miss the train on a feature that extends the longevity and relevance of even the lowest tier characters. We don't want to really dig deep into it in this video, but netcode and how two players actually interact with each other when they fight is at the very core of any next-generation fighting game. Offline events have returned, yes, but playing over the internet is more popular than ever. And when you start to see Japanese developers embrace new technologies to improve network connectivity, then it's clearly time to do the same. Mortal Kombat was a great game for that online connectivity 4 years ago. but with the rising popularity of rollback-based netcode and improved servers, maybe it's time NRS took another look at their already excellent online play and see what they can do to make it a truly next-gen experience. Generally, we won't talk too much about the Mortal Kombat gameplay experience in this video. The main reason is, it's good. Yes, there are some parts of it that could certainly do with another revision if given a chance, but overall, it's a solid game even years after its release. We expect that to be the case for any new NRS title, as the formula of offensive and defensive resources, along with flawless blocks, works really well together. What does stand out like a sore thumb a little bit is fatal blows. Conceptually, a comeback mechanic is fine, plenty of fighting games have them, and they're generally acknowledged as being part of modern game design, helping players clutch a tight match. Unfortunately, they have a different connotation in Mortal Kombat 11, one that sticks to it like tar. A messy, hit-or-miss move that creates such a big imbalance between characters that it's undeniable it should be either removed or heavily reworked. Overall, we want to see the next NRS game to give more casual, story-focused players a reason to dip their toes into multiplayer fights. Maybe hype them up for new content and highlight the community that's grown around it. Mortal Kombat 11's gameplay was solid, but perhaps missing some polish, and the next generation, in technical terms, could really help actualize NRS's ongoing vision to create the most ferocious, bloody fighting game out there. That's all from the team at DashFight. Let us know what you think in the comments, and have a great day.